How do we serve like Jesus? Because if we can figure this one thing out, knowing how to serve like Jesus, it allows you to feel like Jesus, to have that love, joy, peace, to unlock yourself and to stop focusing on yourself so much. We, a lot of the times, want to be people that are serving people. We don't want to always think about ourselves because we know and understand how much that creates this insecurity, how much that creates this overthinking, and we don't always want that. We want to be able to just place our thoughts on other people, place our thoughts outside of ourselves. So how do we do that in a way that isn't just serving people in the big extravagant things like giving them gifts or doing something exactly for them, because we can't always do that. But there's so many different ways of serving that I want to share with you guys that I think can really unlock you guys. So this is something I wanted to know. How do we actually serve people? And the way that I've gotten to understanding it is you can serve people in so many different ways, and a lot of the times it can be even just you showing up. So if you think about Jesus is the #1 server. And it says that he came down not to be served, but to serve others. That's why he washes feet. But if you think about it, Jesus also served in many different ways. Jesus went out there and he preached sermons. Jesus went out there and he listened to people. Jesus went out there and he washed their feet. So many different ways of serving. Sometimes he was just present with people like sinners and tax collectors, and he would go have meals with them. That was how he was serving them. So we can do the same thing. And what I want you to think about it is us serving people is serving them by making the best move possible in the moment. The best move that serves the moment / them. What this basically means is all you have to do is think about, it's kind of like improv. So in improv, what you're basically trying to do is serve the moment and uplift other people. And that can be done in many different ways. Sometimes it's going to be active listening. You're going to listen to the person that you're in that improv scene with and actually try to build on that with a yes and. Or you're going to be able to give something on your own end and add to the scene if you feel like you're trying to get there. Sometimes you have to warm it up, but just trying to give that energy is serving the scene. That is what we are doing also. We are serving in that way, and it can be many different ways. Sometimes because you're in love, joy, peace, you're getting closer to Christ, simply opening your mouth because you have the fruits of the Spirit is giving to other people. You talking about something as simple as you're able to have fun, not take it too serious, and be in that peace of God, that is going to serve people just because it brings a lightness to the situation, wherever you're at. You could do it like that, or you can start looking for being able to serve people by giving them something, by being like, hey, how can I help you with this? Now that one can be a little bit harder because people aren't always going to know, but you're always on the lookout for it. Or you can just go out to people, start listening to them, start seeing what they have going on, and start trying to, immerse yourself in their lives. Like, hey, what you got going on? And doing that. So it's so many different ways of serving, and I think it can really free you up if you think about it. I like to think about it like a basketball game. So if you think about like Steph Curry, when he's going onto the court, he has to go into the court making the best play possible. So him serving the team is making the best play possible. So as a playmaker, you're gonna have to like find a way to, sometimes you're gonna have to score, which for us is gonna be, maybe you're gonna have to speak, maybe you're gonna have to talk about stuff, maybe you're gonna have to warm up the conversation just by saying random stuff and free associating. Sometimes you're gonna have to pass it out to a teammate. In like Steph Curry, he can set his teammate up and get an assist. That's listening to people, asking them questions, doing stuff like that. Sometimes you're going to have to break down the defense, get to the cup, but then pass it out. So that's gonna be for us, you're gonna be speaking about something and then you're gonna ask a question after that and give them the opportunity to score that bucket, whatever you wanna call it. I think that's a great way to think about it, because it's just like, whatever it is in the moment, that's what you're looking to do. You're not locking yourself into one specific thing. So if you can think about it like improv, think about it like this. That's the same exact thing that Jesus did. If you think about him feeding the 5,000 people with feeding them the fish and the loaves and all that stuff, before that he was actually teaching them stuff. He saw them following him and he's decided to sit there and teach them some stuff. And after he taught them some stuff, he was thinking about them, so he decides to actually feed them. If you think about Zacchaeus is somebody that was a sinner and a tax collector, and Jesus actually asked him to come down from the tree so that he can go have a meal with him and some other people. And that is simply serving people by seeing the opportunity and loving people, and he decides to serve them like that. And he goes over there, and I'm sure at this dinner he's asking them questions, he's listening to them, but he's also teaching them many things like he always did with his disciples. So if we can think about it like this, all we have to do is realize that it's basically this improv thing where you're trying to actually connect. That's the goal of it. You're trying to make a connection and you're trying to have a good experience, not just for yourself, but for them too. So whatever that is in the moment, just start looking for it. And you'll start to be able to see, the more that you're getting into Jesus and living like Jesus, you'll start to see these opportunities just to be able to go into a situation with somebody. And it gets you out of your head so much, because you're not like, oh, I have to listen only, or I have to speak only, or I have to do this specific thing. You're just like, how can I serve this and have a good experience with this person? And in reality, that's all conversations are. So I read this book a long time ago called Improv Your Conversations, and that's basically the concept of it. Being able to just see where you can get it to and know that it takes effort to actually do that. So if we can realize this, all of a sudden we can serve people in so many different ways, and we unlock our ability to just go out there and serve people every single day. Your family, your loved ones, the people, strangers, whatever it may be. I love you guys very much, man. I will talk to you on the next video. Peace.